to set.
Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Action!
Today we're talking about it's a box office flop, Masters of the Universe 2026. I have to lead with this because I'm just shocked. I'm shocked by some of these headlines. I was literally reading on my way home from the theater yesterday. Caught the movie in Deptford, New Jersey with my wonderful fiance who had no grounding for what a Masters of the Universe was. And my mother, who would buy me the toys and watch the cartoon with me. She's the one that wanted to see it. I was a little surprised. I said, if you want to see Masters, let's go. Caught the movie around 110 crowd. I would say crowded theater, but crowded theaters are not what they used to be since everything's a $22 lounge chair. I just gotta get this off my chest. AKAPAD. I walk into the theater. I screw up the seats because I usually tell myself, but I kind of bought the tickets sitting down at a table of 12 the day prior, so I was happy to get something available. I bought the tickets, and on Fandango they have they have like a curved screen, and it looks like a wall. So I'm thinking I'm buying 3 tickets for the back wall, like one row from the back. I'm like, oh, these are good. These are good middle seats. They're in the freaking front. So we're one row from the very first row. I mean, we're one row from the first row. There we go. I said that right. A little bit perturbed, but your eyes do lock in. And because of the loungers, you're able to get a better angle. So it worked out. Like you kind of just fall into the movie because you're paying attention to so much, and you kind of forget that your peripheral vision is a little bit interrupted when you're that close. But here's what I gotta get off my chest. AKAPADers. We have to fight. We have to just do better. We have to be better of a film going world. We do. And for the people that like this stuff, we got to be better. I get into the theater and give it. I have my popcorn, Raisinets, nerd clusters that I absolutely love because they're like a little bit sour. I'm there to pig out. I even have a Coca-Cola slushie. And I love the Coca-Cola slushies. Usually I put a little bit of cherry in it. You make it like a cherry Coke slushie. But I just went with Coke. Just was in the mood for straight Coke for a straight Coke slushie. So I get into the theater, and there's 2 individuals, one row in back of us, that seem like they've been there for like an hour. They're fully lounged, so their chairs are just like almost flat. They have blankets. These people they just look overweight. They look like, like sometimes with some of these people, they get the big ankles. I think they call them cankles. And then it's the summer, so everyone's like wearing shorts and they have these like little socks on. So I walk in and this is what I see. And previously, the day before, had a event at Drexel. Was there big dinner, or like just, I would say like early lunch after. But we're at Louie in Philly, which is one of my favorite places. Always a great staff at Louie, by the way, guys. So we're there. We got a table of 12. And I'm buying the tickets, and I'm kind of like on my phone a little bit too much. And someone asked me, like, what are you doing? I'm saying, look, I'm sorry. I just got to buy movie tickets for tomorrow. And it's like, oh, like, you get that. Oh, like, what movie? What are you doing over there? What movie? Well, Masters of the Universe. And then a couple of people at the table heard that. And it's crickets. It's like, oh, what's that? here's the thing, AKA Powders. This is the reality. This movie is probably going to lose over $200 million. This movie is going to go down as one of the biggest bombs in the history of all of cinema, all of filmmaking. Because I just think this movie costs, like, I see this movie, to me, it costs $250 million. The advertising is just everywhere. I'm sure does Amazon sell advertising to itself for a lower rate? Probably. Because I can't put it on any Amazon device without seeing Masters of the Universe. But this movie is going to lose a lot of money. We're going to land this plane. Just hang out with me for a little bit. We're going to land it. So I have attention of a few people. Like, what is Masters of the Universe? It's one of the biggest toy lines for males ever. For the history of males. You have the three-headed dragon, Masters of the Universe, Transformers, G.I. Joe. Transformers, so much more widely accepted and understood. G.I. Joe same. Masters, it takes an explanation for this movie. To explain, like, what Masters of the Universe is, it's very hard. It's hard. And it also makes it odd. Like, why can't I explain the plot of this? Or, like, what it's about? You can't do it. I couldn't do it. I struggled. If you guys want, like, a little bit of an anecdote, more of an anecdote side note, I was I had a wedding in Chicago years ago. One of the brand managers for Barbie was there. Now, I'm not name dropping. Don't you ask for me to name drop. But this person's still at Mattel. And I was talking to her, and I'm like, do you do anything with, like, Masters of the Universe? Or you guys, like, talk about it? Or, because everything with her, it's just Barbie. Like, Barbie. And she goes, what is that? This is someone that works for Barbie at Mattel. What is Masters of the... She asked me at a wedding. And I tell her, I'm like, and I show her, like, a picture. It's this. And she goes, oh, that. Yeah, look. And she kind of said it in a way that talked down to me. And I don't care. It's a wedding. What she tells me at that point is that Barbie is over 90% of the company. Masters is just nothing. They don't think about it. They don't talk about it. It doesn't factor. See, Mattel is the health of Barbie and vice versa. Which is also why the Barbie movie becomes one of the biggest movies in the world in history. The Barbie movie becomes a cultural phenomenon. Also with Ryan Gosling, we love him. But the Masters of the Universe that has this boy, man, child thing about it, where it's toys. It's a few playsets. The vehicles never made any freaking sense next to the battling ram. Right? Like, there's only a few vehicles that make sense in this stupidness. But these man children, they never let go. And they're bad advocates for it. I mean, AKA Powders. I've studied Masters of the Universe in depth. I have nearly everything published about it. I can go to the original mini comics. I can flip through the encyclopedia of the cartoon. I can cite cartoon episodes. I can cite the transformation of some of these connected threads that they try and, like, carve into the lore. I'm a little bit of a historian of it. And the reason why it fascinates me is it's so hard to explain. But the toy. So we get this disconnect between character, plot, and story. You won't get the typical Masters of the Universe fanboy nerd dude that cannot grow up. You won't get him And the argument would not be that Stinkor is better than Webster or Too Bad. Too Bad. All right, you guys remember Too Bad? He's the purple and what's he? Purple and blue. Like you won't get nuance in the character side, because here's the thing: these guys will blow their paycheck on all of them. They just a little bit like Pokemon. Like, I have to have them all. So what Mattel found a way to tap into, and recently too, keep in mind, some of the scale, because action figure licensing can work through scale. And you can, if you're smart enough and have the resources, you can invent your own scale for an action figure and most likely license it. But Mattel got a little bit savvy. So some of the scales of Masters of the Universe are non-Mattel. Like companies like Super 7 would make their own line. But Mattel got savvy enough to understand that they can just keep printing and making these figures for a very, here we go, and the box office dictates this, a very, very, one might say, only $30 million worth of an audience. $30 million worth of an audience. When it comes to a global, world-stomping franchise, you need more than $30 million. You have to be $1.5 billion. Like that's really what your reach needs to be. But Mattel, see, and what happens here is all the little nerdy dudes, and am I a little? Yeah, I'm a little talking down on them. And the reason for that is that these nerdy dudes are somewhat of a vocal minority. They're a little bit of a loud voice in the room. And in their world, this movie is going to be a $300 million box office bash. We finally have a live action Castle Grayskull we can be proud of. We finally have a Battle Cat. We have Spikor. Spikor is the porcupine dude with like fang teeth. He's got like a weird face, but he's live action. We got Fistor and Mechanic. And these characters now look like they do, right? The toy is on screen, almost a 1-to-1 ratio. Some of the proportions, of course. But then we fall into the problem, which is story and plot. And what are we doing? And I think with Travis Knight, and we got it. There are 4 or 5 people that wrote this movie. Chris Butler, Aaron Nee, Adam Nee, David Callahan. These are, okay. Story. Michael Finch is in the story as well. So we get this, right? We get like 10 people in the writer's room. But they crank out a blueprint, a path, an attitude that is very audience pleasing. That this movie, you feel so good when you're done watching this movie. You just want more, right? Like, that's the intent. But here's the thing: you're not very interested in the world of it. You're more interested in like some of these characters, and then we kind of have this hero's journey where, excuse me, Adam. He's not the one from the beginning of the movie, the guy that we kind of liked. Now he's different, so that's gone. That's a little bit of a problem if there's ever a sequel. And then along the way, we get the what the internet picked up on relatively early. We have gender and race swapping some of these characters. One of them being a robot. People got angry about the robot. I don't care. I don't think there's anything a part of Masters of the Universe that's a purple or sacred cow. I just don't. I even think Adam is up for grabs. Adam could have been played by 50 Cent. I don't care. I just don't. I think it's the same odd, wacky, upside down story. So when I walk into the theater and I see the individuals that still buy these action figures just looking like glowworms. There's a toy reference. Snuggled up glowworms in the movie theater, and you know they're not getting up to go to the bathroom. These two individuals are just glued to their seats. They are locked in. I don't even know how they got in there so freaking early, because I thought we were early. It just angers me a little bit, because this is these are the people that will tell you the opposite of what I'm saying right here, aka Patters. They will tell you that this is a wonderful franchise. It's great. It's awesome, and they I don't know. Maybe like here's the thing. When it comes to Masters of the Universe fans, it's wild to me that they never cite the original cartoon, like, ever. I don't know if they're capable of it. I don't think they know anything. Here's a little bit. And let me tell you just where my mind goes, because this movie, and just in my view, is absolutely watch. I mean, it's a fantastic movie. It really is. I love it. The music, though. Like, can we do a shout out for the music guy, Daniel Pemberton? Pemberton. This guy's great. There's a run of guitar in this movie, but the theme for Eternia, Adam, He-Man, whatever you want to call it, it's there, and when it hits, like, you kind of know something's like building towards it. If we go to episode 2 or 3 of the original series, we see the origin of the mother, Adam's mother, the queen, and we see that here's the thing, okay? Futuristic Earth astronaut woman finds herself in Eternia, very similar to how Charlton Heston time traveled in Planet of the Apes. She just kind of finds a squiggly thing in space and flies through it. And on the other end, she's trapped. She's trapped in Eternia, but things work out. She becomes queen. Even in this movie, there is her helmet. You see her Earth space helmet, astronaut helmet in the background. This movie is just littered with some of the best Easter eggs, too, by the way. We have Easter eggs from Big Jim, the Big Jim toy line, and you might say, why is the Big Jim toy line in this effing movie? Well, Battle Cat, Cringer, comes from that toy line. They repainted it for Masters of the Universe. They just said, let's give this guy a giant green and yellow striped tiger because it looks cool. And then you had, some of the best artwork, fantasy artwork, and the fantasy artwork guys painted the hell out of it. They sold everything through the packaging. When Adam, the other good Easter egg too, when Adam discovers the Sword of Power, the character, I think it's Torok, right? Because it's somewhat of a He-Man allegory in the He-Man movie. But that life-size sculpture that's holding the power sword, well, that character is the original sketch of He-Man. So a lot of really wild Easter eggs. But let's get to a little bit of a point. So they do this Kal-El Superman thing where Eternia is sacked and dominated, destroyed, burned down by Skeletor. Keep in mind, this is how the 1987 film begins, the Dolph Lundgren film. Like I said, and there's a lot of similarities to the 87 AKAPAD, but to save Adam, his mother and father send him to Earth. And the sorceress, the sorceress, they zap him to Earth. But while he's on Earth, there's no knowledge of a missing astronaut girl. Like, I just feel like he would, even if he forgot it, because let's just say, but he remembers Eternia, which is kind of cool. Like, really good plot point. There's no, hey, this woman that disappeared, this astronaut, is my queen, my mother in Eternia. Like, no, but anyway. So it's stuff like that, to where like they reveal her origin through endless Easter eggs. And are the Easter eggs there? Are they worthy? Do they make anything better? Easter eggs do not make any movie better, aka Powders. Maybe like a callback to a previous film. Like Alien Romulus, for example, just got butchered for some of its callbacks, but I thought they were all there. I thought people kind of flipped out for the wrong reasons. So we get this movie that is just completely well designed, well thought through. Beastman on the highway, eye level, like his shoulders come up to like the car window. Absolutely like deadly looking dude. Like, and then he faces off against Cringer or Battle Cat at the end. They even have like a little bit of a funny moment. It's there. Like, we got some really good creature design here. This movie, though, in a very odd way, felt like a James Gunn movie. It kind of did feel like a Guardians of the Galaxy film. People will say it's Marvel humor, it's this or that. No, aka Patters. It's just humor in a movie. Is it of a certain style? Maybe some of the arc of the tone of all of this is where everyone is self-aware. Like, we're kind of self-aware. This is a silly movie, a silly idea, a silly thing, especially with the names. But then they don't build in any linear logic for the naming of some of these characters that they maybe come full circle. Like, I don't know. So, like, every character in this movie kind of has 2 names, maybe even 3 names. And that's a tough thing, because for a sequel, it doesn't, it doesn't bake into the dough very well moving forward. I think that's a little bit of a communication problem. And AK Powders, you might just say, Pete, well, like, like a little bit of a stickler there. Like, you're not kind of, yes and no. Look, some of this is intent. So we know this movie's intended to not only have a sequel, but to be of a true franchise. And this was the moment. And somewhat of the moment failed. And you want to say that the moment for this movie was for it to be an absolute success, so that Masters of the Universe finally becomes a franchise, rather than a toy line that adult nerd men repeatedly buy because they have to have 5 versions of Spikor or Stinkor. Stinkor is one of my favorites. He's the skunk that smells, by the way. The toys smelled like a skunk. Kind of cool. Even Mossman, who dies in this, by the way, yeah. Which is odd, because Mossman probably has the best potential of any of the heroes. You can always use him like a Swamp Thing character. But we don't get like a sense of Eternia, the world. We don't get like the history, like Skeletor being the true heir of Eternia. Like him being the brother of King Randor, what explains, like, just really explains a lot. We don't get any of that. Oh. And recently, sorry, had a quick phone call there. But recently, on Red Letter Media, that really they jumped to a review on this. It's one of their quickest releases, review videos. Red Letter Media, little bit of a baseline at times, and in that, and look it up on YouTube. We get a little bit of the initial disconnection of why Masters of the Universe has Skeletor, but Castle Grayskull is not Skeletor's castle. And one of the reviewers for Red Letter Media said, like, growing up as a kid, to me, Skeletor, like, lived in Castle Grayskull. And then it's like, oh no, the good guys, and the sorceress lives there, and that's where the power sword is, and Skeletor's in Snake Mountain. And we take that observation of his, because I think it's truthful and honest of why Masters of the Universe is just it's so tough to explain. Where like even the settings and the environments kind of make no sense. Skeletor hangs out and lives in Snake Mountain. Within the lore and the action figure line, we have the Snake Men. The Snake Men don't hang out in Snake Mountain, and so on and so forth. And it just becomes more and more complicated. We have a lot of the toys, somewhat interchangeable. Like the lobster guy can be a good guy. Like he's red, I mean he's got like a little bit, a little bit of a monster face, but he can still be a good guy. Like he doesn't look totally evil. Buzz off the bee. Like what if you get stung by a bee as a kid and you hate bees, and you put Buzz off with Skeletor because to you bees are evil? That's fine too. Buzz off works in the bad guys as much as he works in the good guys. There's no linear logic to any Masters of the Universe. The vehicles never made much sense, and then later we would get like She-Ra and Hordak, and that kind of also complicates things and makes no sense. And when it comes to the reach of the lore, like even going into the newer Netflix series, the 2002 animated series, which was roughly 2 seasons, a masterpiece, by the way. That's your structure for all of this. They really figured a lot out for that. We even get like Hordak, so we get a third villain like set, or like a third villain theme or fraction. The heroes are just going to be the heroes, and now like Hordak is the original like inherit, or like, and Skeletor is somewhat going to be subservient to Hordak, or to weaker to Hordak's power. And you're just like, oh man, like this is all of this is just a little bit too much. While the entire time, Eternia, the parts of it are really dark places. And then they talk about Eternia being this like somewhat shining castle on a hill, shimmering castle, right? It's Camelot, it's Shangri-La. But then Eternia isn't exactly like perfect or there or unifying. Like Eternia seems to be the minority within this fantasy world. It's not the majority, it's the minority, because there's all these other evil places. There's Hordaks and Skeletors, and then you have all the Snake Men. But then here's a little bit of like the genius of it, though. AK Powers. We'll wrap it up with this. When we look at Masters of the Universe as a toy line, it's second to, maybe even third, like some of its taste, but it really is Transformers, Masters, like G.I. Joe. Just when it comes to characters and playability, a lot of the Masters of the Universe characters have like playability themes like built into the concept of the figure. And it's because they have like such low hanging fruit themes. Like I said, the skunk guy stinks. The toy stinks. We have Whiplash, and he's a lizard guy, and you whip his tail, and Too Bad, which is two guys in one. Wild concepts, great for kids and great for the imagination. I just don't understand when it comes to the adult, where like you say to yourself, uh like we're spending a paycheck on these figures, and we're buying them all. Look, I get it. Some of it too even triggers me, but at the end of the day, I'd rather know the books, buy the books. If the books go out of print, they go up in value, and I wasn't aware of something, I'd rather spend the money on the books, because I feel like that path makes me understand the franchise more than the adult collector that just wants you to love it because they'll tell you it brings their childhood back. And I don't know. I mean, I'd look back at my childhood, sure, but at the same time, you know, I'm I'm an adult. I gotta get things done. There's pressure on me every single day, even pressure for this podcast. So, I mean, my mind's not in my childhood on my day to day. I want to eat right. I want to work out. I want to get enough rest. The people around me, I don't want to let them down. So I'm busy. That's my world. I don't know these other things. To me, they're always running from something. Seeing the glowworms going into this movie didn't help any of my perception of what the audience was expecting from this. But at the same time, I do feel like this is one hell of a movie. Will we get a sequel? It doesn't look like it. I could be wrong. But a little bit. Oh my God. 30-minute episode. It's been a while. Let me go, AKAPADers. I do love you guys. And thanks for hanging out. Now, tonight, we will have a Memories of Masters of the Universe 1987. The Dolph Lundgren one. Because I was recently watching and then rewatching that. I'll tease a little bit something going into that episode. That movie has transformed. I like that movie more with age than I did when I first saw it. I'll explain it all. I love you guys. Rock and roll.
Roll sound. Rolling. Sound production.
Let
take
me
2.
cut in. Sorry, AKAPADers. I know it's such a hot, passionate episode, but I'm breaking the flow real quick just to remind you guys. If you want to support me, one of the best, easiest, and free ways to do it, leave a comment. Give me a like. I know there's someone out there that you know that loves film as much as I do, that love the film industry as much as I. Show this to them. Comments, likes, and reviews, positive or negative, it doesn't matter. We need to increase our reach, and to do that requires your involvement in everything that I do. We're linked. We're forever bound. You're the membrane. I'm the muscle. So guys, let's just do it. One review. Do you have it in you? Okay, back to the show.
Okay, that's a wrap.